Mike writes, how are you, FHB? I'm an owner builder in North Carolina. Come January, I will have been working on my house for 2 years. Yes, my wife is over it by now. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, though, since I'm prepping for interior insulation. I work for a fire department, so I have a ton of days off each month to put towards the house. But they usually get picked up by family time events. Long story short, I've been interested in houses for a long time now, before college even, and I figured building my own house would help me start a new career in construction, but this has not been the case. I've been looking for an assistant supervisor's position, but in my area, there aren't many builders with multiple full-time roles, so it's been tough without documented experience. I've known people to break into construction into similar positions with no experience at all, so I figured I would have greater odds. I'm going to test for my general contractor's license next month with hopes that it'll help me land a job. If not, I might try my hand at doing something for myself. Any suggestions? Mike, who wants to go first?
I get a lot of questions like this. I get to meet a lot of people who have taken tech school programs and have, a little bit of experience here and there. I would say for somebody like Mike, uh, if he has experience through the fire department that can be related to project management, an organization of people to do activities, which he probably does, that's, I think, what he's got to leverage. Because if somebody would come into me and talk about how they've been building their own house for 2 years and they're in drywall and that kind of stuff, unfortunately, that's not really going to relate to me as experience that is applicable to the crews that I'm running. But if he comes in and he would leverage I've done this for the fire department, I've made this rank, I organize this training thing, or I organize this portion of our, firefighting work, or I'm really proud of how I was able to general contract the house up to this point, and here's some examples of interactions I've had with trade partners that I've hired to do the work. That's going to start to sound more applicable to what I'm willing to hire for.
Good advice. What do you think, Mike?
I couldn't add anything to what Ian just said. I've always been in the small, self-perform and with a small crew. So I feel bad for people who want to jump in and not know where to go. But I think what Ian just described is probably ideal.
I think people forget that the biggest piece of doing construction work is the behind the scenes organization piece of it. I had an interaction yesterday with one of my project managers that a designer happened to witness, and this specific designer looked a bit like a deer in headlights listening to us talk about the performance of this crew and the performance of this trade partner versus this project where they did this. And I said, well, Sam, you just saw what happens behind the curtains to keep the projects moving. And if you can show how you understand that aspect of it and can contribute to it, not a lot of people can do that. And I would add that in my Remodelers Advantage groups, there are a lot of people in my role and in project management roles who've come from the tech sector and come from manufacturing. One of my colleagues ran the Utz potato chip factory, which doesn't sound like it would apply to doing high-end residential remodeling work, but it really does because it's organizing people to do tasks.
Interesting. I would only add that don't give up. Mike, if you want to be in construction, we need lots of smart people. So please don't lose faith. And, a lot of folks start out doing handy person work too if they want to run a business. And I think as a firefighter with benefits and the like, you're in a better position than many people to do that kind of work. But just
And
don't
when you're done with the house in another 2.5, 3 years, and you get your copious amount of extra time back, just start picking up laboring work. I think that's pretty easy to do off of Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. Get out there, start doing small, odd jobs, the kind of things that there aren't many people left doing, and see where you can go from that route. So I think you've got to get a little bit more creative than just going on to something like Indeed and seeing who's hiring superintendents and lead carpenters, etc.
Mike, also be sure to mention that you're working with a diverse group of people in the fire department, right? On a job site, there are people of every personality and disposition, and if you can make them achieve a common goal in the fire department, I'm guessing you can do the same thing on the job site.
And staying calm in an emergency situation.
That's one thing I notice about you, Ian, is no matter what, you are unflappable, and
Wow.
I got to believe that helps with your job.
I will make sure that my coworkers listen to this episode.